Welcome to the 9th Annual Lenape Regional High School District Armed Services Award Ceremony. I am Eric Schoenberg from Medford, New Jersey, and your Master of Ceremonies for the evening. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given various cues to stand and be seated. As a reminder, civilian guests should place their hand over their heart during the national anthem. We request that cellular phones be silenced for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors conducted by our cadets from Lenape, Cherokee, and Seneca High School's Junior ROTC program. The playing of the national anthem by Lenape High School Army Junior ROTC cadets Alex Steinberg and Jonathan Jones, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
March! Left turn, march! Color guard, halt! Post! Colors! Color guard, attention! March time, march! Right turn, march! Forward, march!
And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce the Lenape Regional High School District's Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Carol Birnbaum, to kick off this evening's ceremony.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to also welcome you to the Lenape Regional High School District Annual Armed Services Award Ceremony. This is one of our most unique award ceremony we host. In addition to honoring our students, we will also be recognizing veterans who are alumni, staff, or relatives of our current Lenape Regional High School District family. Before I make my brief remarks to all of the honorees, there are a number of people in attendance that I would like to recognize. First, I would like to start by thanking our Shawnee alumnus, Mr. Eric Schoenberg, for being our MC this evening and shining as a great example of what Prepare to Succeed looks like. I would also like to thank the members of our Board of Education who are here to help make this ceremony just a little bit more special. Please stand and be recognized. From Medford Township, we have Mrs. Allison Eckel. Also from Medford Township, Mr. Dave Stowe. Representing Mount Laurel, Mrs. Paula Lee. Representing Southampton, Mrs. Linda Eckenhoff. And the President of our Board of Education, Mrs. Cookie Eslow. And also later on joining us up on the stage to hand out awards will be our representatives from our administration at each of our schools. From Lenape High School, Mr. Joe DeJulius. From Shawnee, Mr. Matt Campbell. From Cherokee, Mrs. Donna Charlesworth and Mr. Len Ionelli. And from Seneca, Mr. Dave Mayer. So in addition to showing our respect to the men and women who make a difference, another goal of this evening is to create a support system for our seniors who will be entering the armed services, military academies, or entering a college ROTC program. Like so many ceremonies, there is a reception afterwards, but rather than just having a few snacks with your family, my hope is that our veterans will be able to connect with our soon-to-be graduates. Because you, the veterans, can provide valuable insight for our students and their parents on what they might expect in the upcoming year. And as with most graduates, it might be the first occasion that they'll be away from their parents for an extended period of time. This is a big change for any high school student. However, tonight's students will have the added pressure of being a part of something much bigger than they have ever been a part of before. Our students will not only be representing themselves when they go out in public, they will be representing their school, their community, and now the United States of America. There will be a newfound responsibility of understanding that individual decisions now impact their unit, their institution, and our country. So veterans, I'm looking for you to provide that insight for our students on how to best handle this new responsibility. My father was a Korean War vet who served in the Navy. And tonight our vets will be representing various military actions, including vets from the Vietnam War, and amazingly, we're also honored to have among us again World War II vet, Mr. Frank Vitale, who will be proudly taking the stage during our medal ceremony. Now, I don't have my father anymore, and I really regret that I didn't ask him more questions about his time in the Navy or in the Korean War, or more questions about his father, who served in World War I in the Army, because I thought I would have more time. And I always thought there would be more time for that. I thought I'd have my father longer. But you, students, have an opportunity to ask questions of these vets and take part in the living history lessons that are more valuable than what you'll peruse on the internet. So students, learn from my mistake, thank our vets for their service, and ask a question because you won't regret it. You soon will be joining their elite club, which extols leadership and creates men and women who understand there are no obstacles that cannot be overcome. You will be asked to do things you were never asked to do before, and you will learn that you will be able to accomplish much more than you thought you could accomplish. As we approach the end of the school year, our weeks are filled with many award ceremonies, performances, and activities, all leading up to the graduation ceremonies for the class of 2018. But for me, and I'm sure for many of you, tonight's ceremony will be the most memorable, and I'm honored our students are able to share this evening with each one of our servicemen and women, whether on active duty, reserves, or at home. So I hope this evening shows our communities that we live by our commitment to honor our brave men and women. And on behalf of the members of the Lenape Regional High School District Board of Education and Administration, thank you for your service, and thank you for protecting our freedom. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Birnbaum. At this time, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for the evening, Assemblyman Ryan Peters. Assemblyman Ryan Peters represents the 8th District, which includes parts of Atlantic, Burlington, and Camden counties. Ryan Peters was sworn in as an assemblyman in January 2018. Peters is a graduate of the United States Naval Academy with a bachelor's degree in political science, later earning a law degree from Rutgers, New Brunswick. As a Navy SEAL, he served on multiple combat deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, and currently is the Lieutenant Commander for SEAL Team 18 in the Naval Reserves. Peters was a freeholder in Burlington County from 2016 to 2018, and served on the Mount Laurel Zoning Board from 2013 to 2014. The Assemblyman's historic history of civil duties include Chairman of the Board of Directors of Liberty USO of Pennsylvania and South Jersey, in southern New Jersey. He lives in Hainesport with his wife, a daughter, and 2 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker for the evening, Assemblyman Ryan Peters.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here, along with my fellow veterans and brothers and sisters in arms, including Bob Smythe, who's here from Congressman MacArthur's office, Vietnam veteran. Bob, please stand up. And also my fellow Assembly District mate, Joe Howarth. Please stand up. Come on. Stand up. So I'm here with the deepest envy and jealousy for all of you tonight who are getting ready to join the ranks of our nation's best military this world has ever seen. You can't possibly understand this yet, but you're on the verge of getting one of the greatest jobs on this planet. You'll be asked to protect and defend the most sacred of all things in this world, freedom. See, I didn't fully appreciate it when I took my oath on June 28th in 2000. At the time, we were a nation in relative peace. However, that didn't take long for things to change. I was a sophomore at the United States Naval Academy when the attacks of 9/11 happened. I was sitting in physics class and a military officer walked in. I remember whispering to my civilian civics professor, and we were all summarily dismissed to go back to our rooms. And so on the way back, we all lived in the same place. There's whispers of, hey, I heard there's a Cessna at the Pentagon. Wonder what's going on. Why are these F-18s flying above our head? And I went back and, it's the Naval Academy, so we don't have any TVs or cell phones or phones in our room. But I did have a desktop computer, and it had, I could get 2 channels, Fox News and CNN. So I turned on CNN. It's all right. Either one was fine. I just happened to turn on CNN. And it was just in time for the second plane to hit the towers. And for many in the world, it meant different things. For me, I immediately knew that I was going to war, and so were all my classmates. And so I just said, for the next 3 years, I'm going to spend the time to develop my mind and body to become a SEAL, because if we're going to war, I want to be on the front lines of that war. And so I was selected to attend SEAL training. I left for Coronado, California in June of 2004. I had just turned 23 years of age, just a couple months before, and I was put in charge of 200 of America's toughest warriors, all vying to be special operators. But surprisingly, I wasn't in over my head. The military had prepared me for this moment. I had taken countless classes in leadership. I had officers who mentored me when I was a midshipman. I had tested out my leadership style on younger midshipmen, see what worked for me and what didn't. But most of all, I had the confidence in myself and in my abilities. And that all came from my military indoctrination. No, I didn't know everything, and I certainly made mistakes. There's actually a little known fact. SEAL training is actually really easy. You, as long as you meet the minimum physical requirements and you don't quit, you can make it pretty far. The real challenge is leading under the strain of the day-to-day training, constantly, every day throughout, and constantly exhibiting those leadership skills. And with a class of over 200 people that started with me in June, there were about 18 of us left in February. So I went on to additional training, went to my SEAL team, And throughout the course of my career, about 4 deployments to Central America, Afghanistan, and twice to Iraq. And I had an absolute blast. It's common these days for someone to walk up to a veteran and thank them for their service. I never knew what to say in response. I generally just stared at them and just said, "You got it." And then I just decided one day to be brutally honest. So someone came up to me and he said, "Oh, you a veteran?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Thank you for your service." I said, "Thanks for paying for it." Because that was the absolute truth. Being in the military was and is the greatest honor of my life. I've traveled most of the world. I've seen and done things that most people had only dreamed of. I've led men in combat. I've helped people through their toughest moments. I didn't have to pay for any of it. In fact, they paid me. So tell me that's not the best deal going. So as I look out in the room, I'm overcome with jealousy. Will it be hard for you guys? You're damn right. It's supposed to be hard. As we say in the Navy, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Put more bluntly, you're going to have to go through some pretty tough stuff in order to have the poise and confidence it takes to proudly wear the uniform of the most powerful military to ever walk this planet. Don't hide from the opportunity. You've already taken the biggest step by agreeing to join the team. Now exploit your opportunities. You're going to fail. If you don't fail, you're not pushing the limits of your own potential. But it's not will be true. It won't be true failure, because true failure only happens when you fall and you don't get back up. But you'll get back up every single time. And you'll push yourself every single day. Because all of you will be leaders in our nation's military. And I say that both to those entering the officer training programs and to those who are enlisting. You will be a leader. So be a student of leadership. And like all students, I'm now going to give you homework. First, I want you to find the YouTube from my former boss, Admiral McRaven, his commencement address from the University of Texas in 2014. When you finish watching it, read the book that is based off that address called Make Your Bed. It lists and expands the 10 life lessons from basic SEAL training. I've never heard anyone articulate it better. You see, in order to be a good leader, you have to be full yourself. You have to develop yourself personally, physically, morally. I tell people now, it's like when you get on a plane and the attendant tells you to put the mask on, your oxygen mask on, and then put the child's mask on next to you. You have to take care of yourself, and then you can help those around you. When you're done reading that book, call me and I'll give you another assignment. As for my own leadership advice to you, I suggest you start with a pretty simple one I call the bone theory of leadership. In short, have a wishbone, a funny bone, and a backbone. Keep a tight hold of your wishbone. There'll be times where people will look for you for hope and optimism. Create an optimistic vision and lead your people down that path. Never lose your funny bone. The ability to laugh at yourself is a sign of confidence. When you make a mistake, feel free to poke fun at yourself. A little self-deprecation never hurt anyone. And it's not bad to have fun every once in a while. Even SEALs smile on occasion. Don't tell anybody I said that. And always have a backbone. He who stands for nothing will fall for anything. If your people know that they have your support, they're more likely to take risks. And when they fail, you'll be there to back them up. So in closing, welcome to the club. You're joining a great team. Moms and dads, we'll take good care of them. And as we do most things, we'll leave it better than we found it. Lastly, I'll leave you with a SEAL team toast that I hope I carry with you. So here's to lying, cheating, stealing, and fighting. If you lie, may you lie for a brother or sister. If you cheat, may you cheat death. If you steal, may you steal the heart of another. And if you fight, may you always fight for freedom. Thank you. God bless America.
Thank you, Assemblyman Peters. At this time, I would like to introduce Bob Smythe, Field Representative, Congressman Tom MacArthur.
Well, I'm not on the agenda, but I'd just like to make some comments and relate to all of you because of some of the things I do. But it's very difficult following a Navy SEAL like Ryan Peters, except when you're a former Army officer who spent over a year in Vietnam. So I can do it. And we're friends, so I always say that to him. It's our go Army, beat Navy thing. On behalf of Congressman Tom MacArthur, it is truly an honor to be here. I graduated from Lenape. I think 9 years ago, this is the 9th one. I think I've been to maybe 7 or 8 of these, and I got one of those the first time. And one of the things I do, and I'm so happy to be here to share with you, is because I oversee the Academy Nominations Board for Congressman Tom MacArthur. And we have people here that have come to us about nominations for academies. We have one tonight that's going to the prep school. But I always like to see the people that maybe we nominated or did not get into an academy, and I see them in ROTC programs, I see them enlisting, I see people in the Coast Guard and all that. So I'm always happy when I see people walk across the stage that I have felt bad about because they didn't get into the Naval Academy or West Point. But so it's a real honor to be here. I'm an ROTC officer, went through that. So for all of you that are going into ROTC, understand what you're doing, and for the one that's going to the academy. If anyone here is interested in going to one of the academies, I'll be in the reception and be happy to talk with you about that. I'm also going to present certificates of special recognition to each student tonight on behalf of Tom MacArthur. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Smythe. At this time, we would like to take a moment to recognize all active duty, National Guard, reservists, Armed Forces retirees, and veterans in attendance this evening. We will be playing the Armed Services songs. We ask that you remain standing while the music of your respective branch is played. Thank you. honorees, students, alumni, and employees, please line up on the right side of the auditorium at the bottom of the steps to prepare for the presentation of the coins. Ms. Maraglia will assist in the lineup. Board of Education members, Dr. Birnbaum, Mr. Webb, and principals, please come up to the stage for the presentation. While we are getting situated, please enjoy this short, student-created junior ROTC promotional video.
I wanted to find myself. I wanted new experiences.
I wanted to challenge myself.
I wanted to become disciplined.
I wanted to leave behind a legacy.
I wanted to become more motivated.
I wanted to become self-confident.
I wanted to be part of a team. I wanted to be part of something greater than myself.
NJROTC is more than just a class. It's a path to honor, courage, and commitment.
I joined.
I joined.
I joined.
We became leaders.
First, we will honor the Lenape Regional High School District students who have committed to branches of the armed services after graduations. Their names will be read in alphabetical order by birth order of school. From Lenape, Ariel Bushemin, U.S. Army. Ronald Hicks, U.S. Coast Guard. Kevin Lauer, U.S. Naval Academy Preparatory School. From Shawnee, Christian Ian Zunelli. United States Air Force, ROTC, Penn State. Matthew Ross, United States Air Force, ROTC, Penn State. From Cherokee, Andre Flamini, U.S. Navy. Ethan Lacey, U.S. Army ROTC, University of Michigan. Joseph Makusa, U.S. Coast Guard. Amanda Riley, U.S. Army ROTC, Clarkson University. Paige Roberts, U.S. Air Force. From Seneca, Alexa Adams, U.S. Army National Guard. Shane Brennan, U.S. Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, let us have one more round of applause for our graduating seniors and future servicemen and women. Now we are going to recognize district alumni, current and past employees, parents, and grandparents of students for their service. Kelly Bugler, U.S. Coast Guard. Michael Deere, U.S. Air Force. Alicia Dunmar, U.S. Air Force. Harry Dunmar, U.S. Air Force. Frank Fatale, U.S. Navy. Joseph Hobler, U.S. Air Force. Christy Kennedy, U.S. Air Force. Sue Ann Miller, U.S. Navy. Robert Regatta, U.S. Coast Guard. David Schill, U.S. Navy. Ramelia Scott, U.S. Army. James Snyder, Sr., U.S. Navy. John Snyder, U.S. Navy. Anthony Zissimos, U.S. Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, let us again have one more round of applause for all our servicemen and women. It has been an honor serving as your MC this evening. I would now like to take a moment to reflect on my own experiences. Graduating high school and deciding to serve your country in the military is a significant accomplishment and a commitment that will distinguish you from your peers. The process of deciding to join the military and completing the application process is often considered a competitive marathon and not a sprint. After graduation, the application race will come to an end and a new marathon will begin. I graduated from Shawnee in the class of 2013. During my sophomore and junior year at Shawnee, I began to seriously consider joining the military. Toward the end of my senior year at Shawnee, I accepted my offer to Penn State with an Army ROTC scholarship. Upon leaving Shawnee, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to study in school, nor did I know what occupation in the Army I wanted to pursue. During my first days at Penn State, I sat down with the battalion commander, a lieutenant colonel. He asked me what branch within the Army I was most interested in pursuing. I wasn't sure. I quickly realized that there was a great deal about the Army that I did not know. I made it a point to absorb as much information as I could from the training labs, class lessons, and the cadre at Penn State. As I progressed through ROTC, I researched, asked questions, and thought critically about what career path I wanted to take after ROTC. Most of the close friends that I made at ROTC knew that they were going to join the infantry since freshman year. I considered that. A handful of cadre in the battalion had a military intelligence background, so I considered that. I enrolled in numerous pre-law courses and found them challenging, yet thought-provoking, so I considered that. Upon graduation from Penn State just over 1 year ago, I commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Army. I am currently on an educational delay status from active duty in order to pursue a law degree to become an Army judge advocate. Yesterday, I finished up my first year at Rutgers Law School. My best advice to the students graduating with a military commitment is to pursue every opportunity available to you. Begin thinking about what specific opportunities within your respective branches you're passionate about. The Army alone has everything from medical doctors and veterinarians to field artillery and the infantry. Finding your passion within the military will keep you at your best, and the soldiers you will lead require nothing less. Thank you and congratulations.